Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
I'm a brain surgeon. The monotony can really get to you. But thanks to overzealous laws, I can't light up a cigarette or do shots to relax my nerves. With the Alcatine patch, it really lightens the mood, especially after an unfortunate patient death.
The Alcatine patch is the same refreshing feeling of 12 beers and a pack of cigarettes all at once. And now when you crash your sports car through the front door of a fast food restaurant, you'll pass a breathalyzer. The Alcatine patch. It's half alcohol, half nicotine, delivered transdermally and discreetly so you feel relaxed and refreshed. Pick up the Alcatine patch at your local pharmacy today.
Shut up and sit down.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Third Shift. This is episode 514, and I, of course, am your host, your funky leader, the greatest man who's ever lived. It's me. It's Matt. Welcome to just my moment of fun for the day. Because with me, as always, it's the light bearer, the light bringer, the light bearer, bringer, the Beastmaster, Third Shift. It's Eric, and he's here with me. We're going to brighten your day just like this is brightening my day. But we're going to tell you how we've been doing this week and what we've been up to. And I've screwed up the intro already by talking too much other stuff. But Eric, tell us what you've been up to this week, brother.
Well, let me tell you, my sister came up from Ohio and visited. So it's been a week in flux. My den, my area has been gone. I've been shooked up into this tiny little room with all the weird stuff and the bad things that aren't really what my setup's all about. And that's where I've been. I've been there all week. Since I talked to you guys last time, she literally came that night. And it's been since then. So I hate to say it. I hate to bring the bearer bad news, but if you want to hear about video games, you come to the wrong place. Because by the time I get out of work, by the time I come home and do what I do and hang out with the sister, et cetera, I only have about an hour and a half tops to myself. And you all know Eric very well. When he only has an hour and a half, he ain't playing video games. Because that's not enough time in my brain to play video games. I go, no, by the time I get interested and invested, I gotta quit. I don't want to do that. So it's been a rough week video game wise. So a lot of shows, a lot of anime I've been watching. And of course, visiting with the family and doing what I can, which is almost nothing because I've literally worked every day but one day the whole time they were here. So unfortunately, that's just my life right now. That's how it's been going. So I felt bad when they left today earlier. It's like, hey, I'm glad you all came. And I didn't do almost anything with you guys except talk to Vanessa, when I was home for an hour and a half in between cooking dinner and picking up the house and doing the usual chores. Yeah, that was, I think, fun. Yeah, cool. Awesome. So yeah, that's the life. That's what's been happening. But I did play 2 games at least a little bit. They were squeezed in there, just a little bit. Was Grand Blue Fantasy. Been continuing with that. I already talked extensively on my feelings on it and how I could probably be done with this, but I'm not gonna. So I went and got a little bit more done. And if you want to hear more, go, listen to what you're playing Third Shift. But in a nutshell, we're getting to the end of the game. And I know what it's all about. And I know what's happening. I already know the twist and this and that. So solid game. But not much more to report on. And then a game came to me, Matt. And I was excited. PlayStation went, hey, you want free games this month? And I said, well, I guess. Well, what are they? And Signalis was one of them. And if you know, that's a game I've been wanting to play for a long time now. It's been just in the back of my brain going, you should play me. You should play me. You should play me. And I think I already own it over on Steam or something. But it came to PlayStation. And I went, well, hot damn. Here it is again. Download it, Eric. It can't be that big. It's a tiny game. Just at least download it, get it on the bar, and see if you go into it. Sure enough, I did that. And I was just sitting there 2 nights ago, maybe 3. I can't remember. Time is time. And I went, you know what? Just push the play button. Let's just see. Push the play button. Brrr, all weird. Yellow. I'm like, oh, this is Cthulhu shit. Yep. I already know I like this. I like this. So I got in there. And sure enough, they just throws you right on in. You're on this wrecked ship. You're this AI robot thing that thinks it has feelings. but it doesn't interact with things properly. So you're like, okay, I get it. It thinks it has a human emotions, but it surely doesn't, because it would be way more shocked about things it's looking at and seeing and doing and whatnot. All right, this is crazy. Then it gets even crazier, man. Things happen, holes appear that take you to whole different like things that shouldn't exist or what, and this, once again, your character just accepts this, and you're like, okay, you're definitely not human, because if you just crawled into this hole and ended up in a transdimensional, you wouldn't be just like, okay, I gotta find Jenica. That's all I gotta do. No biggie, no problem, And then all of a sudden you start getting logs, and they start talking about weird things happening and what's going on. And then all of a sudden you start to get cutscenes showcasing like stuff completely irrelevant to what is in here. But then all of a sudden flashes and it starts going places. And I still have no flipping clue what the hell's going on. But I'm like, okay, it's all wrong. Everything's wrong. Everything's bad. All this is messed up. Why and how is this one of those? Then I start speculating, are we in one of those, she's in a dream or something that's completely unhinged from reality, and maybe she is a human and doing normal things, or was, but then something tragic happened, so she's creating this entire world and weird thing to compensate or cope with whatever it is? Or is this actually in the future and there is some kind of transdimensional like time shifting thing going on? I don't know. It's all wild. It's all crazy. I know nothing about it. I played it for like 2.5 hours total, so almost nothing. But I definitely enjoy it. The only thing I can say, though, is I'm an idiot, because I'm always an idiot. And I shot a lot of bullets, and now I don't have bullets. And so now I'm running around, always trying to hide and trying to get around these bad guys. And you go, Eric, you knew you shouldn't have shot all those bullets. But the other me goes, you know what? No, because those rooms now are all clear. I'd at least have a safe section where there's nothing there. All the enemies are dead. Every last one of them. There's nothing there. I can go in there and just sit there and go, this game's fun. It's fine. Everything's fine. Until I go to the rooms I haven't been in with no rounds and no way to kill them, and have to sit there and constantly go, sneak, sneak, sneak. And then they chase you, and you got to run and try to get to some other room with more baddies that I can't kill. So we're in one of those spots already. 2 hours in. I'm like, I made some mistakes. That's okay. We'll figure this out. But then now I got to figure out, like, strategically, what baddies should I kill? Or what rooms should I leave them just alive in? And you do have to learn that, because the one thing I'll say about Signalis is there's a lot of dead-end rooms. A lot of rooms just that have an item or some ammo or a healing pack or a key or something you need to progress, but you'll never go back to that room. But there's also main hallways that you're going to come back to a whole bunch, and you got to keep on traversing to get to the next areas. So it is all about learning, hey, I don't need to kill these two, because if I can just sneak to that thing and get out, I'm never coming back to this room again. And that's just me. I gotta make sure I learn that going forward, and can hopefully, compensate for the loss of rounds and things I've already screwed up, and get back on track. But it's just one of those things, you gotta get used to playing it and what it feels like. But I enjoy it. It was a second to get used to the top-down mode, because instead of it giving you that old GTA where you like see the top of your head literally and you're moving, it shows her whole body like that on the screen, and I'm just like showcasing like you see a 2D, animation of her, but she's in a straight up above ground. So when you're walking, it's not like, it's just weird. It took me like a few minutes in my brain to actually get used to the look of it, because I was like, oh, it looks like I should go over, but it's not. It's not. It's weird. It just doesn't feel right.
See, I always thought it was like isometric. I mean, I've seen gameplay footage of it. I've never played it myself, but I always thought it was like, kind of Hades-ish, like isometric, but not like straight top down.
It is, but it's not. It's not proper chopper.
Okay.
Like, it's a little too sharp. It's almost straight up and down.
Too tight or something?
Yeah, it's almost straight up and down. Like, so close to straight up and down that it doesn't match where her character model is quite right.
Okay, yeah.
And so it takes you a little bit to get used to, like, okay, I understand, I get it. And it literally, and when I say it takes time, it's like 10 minutes. And then you'll be like, okay, I'm adjusted. I get it. I get where everything is in comparison to her and what's going on. But that was the only bad thing so far about it. Was like it just took a minute. I was like, this doesn't look right. This is weird. Like I can see your old character, but you're not at that angle, that proper angle for it. But I got over it, and it's been fun. So that's the only 2 games I've played. And Matt, I'll throw it to you.
Well, as for me, we did the show early last week because I went on a trip. I went down to Detroit, stayed at a really nice hotel, and watched 2 nights of AEW wrestling, Dynamite and Collision, front row, dead center. And I got to say, anybody who poo-poos wrestling, get out of here because it's just fun. It's just fun and it's awesome. Seeing these enormous athletic people doing athletic stuff. People were flying out of the ring like straight into my lap almost, flying off the top rope right in front of you. Thumps and lands and bangs and smashes. It was just cool. It was just a great ass time. If you watch Dynamite, you saw the first dude comes out, he comes around, he literally almost jumps right into my lap and he puts his arm around me. He's like, yeah, here we go. I'm like, hell yeah. It's just the 2 greatest nights. And I mentioned staying in the really nice hotel, and you get to see the dichotomy of Detroit City. Stay in this brand new nice hotel, beautiful room. Ah, cool. How do I get to the venue? You cross the one big road in Detroit, and then right there, but you go from really nice to just terrible. Empty, vacant lots, all the old fallen down brick buildings, weird people just moseying around in the street, doing the thing. Yep, okay, cool. Yep, this is what I like to drive through. And there was no problems, there's no issues, so I'm not saying anything like that, but I'm just like, brand new hotness, old and busted. Whatever the line is for Men in Black, it's that. It was that.
Mm-hmm.
But then came home, went and did a 5K out in Country Mill, which it said was in Charlotte, but it's kind of more Potterville area.
It's more Potterville.
Yeah. Because I was like, I'm going to see Eric. I'm going to go see him on his rounds. And no, it was like, get off in Potterville and just bloop right here. But I did a 5K there, and it was really, it was cool. It was like this 5K up in St. John's at Uncle John's that we did a couple times. It's kind of rough because you get the 2 tractor tracks, so there's not a nice even way to run through. But there was one spot in the 2-loop that I had to do where you go way up this big old hill, steep ass hill. I'm like, oh, this sucks. But you get to the top, and you're just like, poof, apple orchard, like everywhere. Trees and beautiful. Nothing was flowering or anything. It was kind of a rainy, crummy day. But I was just like, hell yeah. Look at this view. Look at all this. Man, I would, if I lived here and I ran this orchard, I would just run up here for my lunch every day and just dangle my little feet off the little hill and just, woo, look at this. Wonderful. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. On the video game front, I played a million video games. If you want to hear about any of the Nintendo Switch games that I took in my Switch 2 to the AEW trip, listen to the What You Play in Third Shift. But I also played a million Xbox games, one of which was as soon as I got home that night, I played Vampire Crawlers, which I haven't played for quite a while. That dungeon crawling Vampire Survivors-y doodly-hoo. And man, I got in such a run. It was unbelievable. I got this one survivor who just their ability allowed you to endlessly recycle cards. And so I was just recycling cards every single fight. I was just like power, 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 smash. Power, 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 smash. And I just roasted and ran through the whole dungeon. And of course, since it's Vampire Crawlers, well, that run's done. That was the most epic run I've ever been on. And I'm not even close to even a fraction of the way into this game. But I'm just like, man, that was the best run I've ever done in anything ever. And I'm sure I'll play some more of it somewhere down the line too. But then Eric got this in my head of you need to get in and play a million Game Pass games before Game Pass goes away. Even though he's telling me to just only play one game, my brain filtered that as play everything else other than that. So I played some Super Hot Mind Control Delete, which I've had downloaded forever. And if you remember Super Hot from back in the day, it's super hot. Time only moves when you move, but that's not quite entirely true. But you get to do all this crazy stuff. Everybody knows Super Hot. If you don't, just look up Super Hot. It was more of that. And I was like, damn, this is cool. And then it got hard, and I was like, damn, this is hard. And so the next day, I played some Halo Campaign Evolved, because that came out on the Game Pass. I figured that's the only Halo that I really played and really enjoyed, the original, way back in the day. I played some of the other ones, but they didn't hook me. So I started that up, and I was playing it, and I went, yeah, Halo, let's go. Remember, 25 years ago, this was really cool. And I was playing it, and I'm not one of those guys who's going to poo-poo it, because I saw a lot of Steam reviews that were just giving it a complete crap. It's fine, but it just feels weird, which is strange because I haven't played the original Halo for 25 years, but I'm playing it. I'm just like, this isn't it, right? This is not what this gun sounds like. This is not what these people sound like. This is not how the mission goes, right? And so the next day in the morning, I put on like a long play of the original, and it's so weird because the graphics for Campaign Evolved are really good. It takes what you thought Halo looked like, and now that's this, like we always say. But just like the gun sounds sound weird, the enemies look weird. Everybody's, it's the same voice actors, but they have new direction because they re-recorded the lines. All the voices sound weird. Everything just feels mushy and soft. I don't know. It feels so strange. But I was watching that original, and the gun sounds were like pow, 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 like popping, and everything felt right. I mean, it's still a sort of jankety game from 25 years ago, but I was like, that's Halo. This isn't it. I don't know. Maybe if you haven't played the original, you won't notice anything like that. And I'm surprised I noticed it because it's been so long, but I think it's fine. It just felt too weird for me. Like, it just felt weird. So then I played some Child of Light, that rhyming turn-based RPG from Ubisoft from the 360 era. And I went, that's cool. I should buy it on sale for like $3 and play that somewhere else. Then I played Ghostwire Tokyo, which I also had on my play later list. That's that game where you're half possessed by a spirit and it's all demons and yokai and Shibuya. That game was freaking cool. Like, I've got nowhere into it. I'm like 3 stages or levels or whatever into it. But that game's freaking awesome. Like, that one just like hooked me. I was like, damn, I need to literally buy this and play it. How can I get a physical copy on Xbox to carry this over? Oh, wait, they never made one. Okay, I'll have to get one for PS5 and start over, but that's fine. Because I was shocked. It was beautiful. It was fun. It was creepy, but not scary. It was unique and strange. I know I've heard all that stuff before when it first came out, but I was just like, holy cow, this game's freaking awesome. It's so cool. How have I not played this? How have I not just owned and played this game? So that was awesome. I played through a few hours of that, and then Beast of Reincarnation hit, and I played that on the Game Pass for about 3-ish hours last night. And I will say, I like it, but it's not hooking me. It has that first bit of Stellar Blade feel, where you're like, I think I'm going to like this, but I don't know yet. And it just has that feel. I've read a couple reviews for it, and they say, like, we don't like the story, we don't like the characters. And I'm like, I can see why, because they have that Stellar Blade feel to them. There's not much to hook into yet, and granted, I'm like 3 hours in, max. It's pretty. I love the way the combat works. Like, you are doing action skills, and then you can basically pause when you call in the big wolf, and then you choose a skill, and then it's kind of like a QTE to get bonus damage or not, and then you can continue based on what that skill did. So, like, the combat's fun, and I love the area and the vibes, the music. It totally gives like Nier Automata vibes, because you have the kind of like weird song in the background that maybe it doesn't really fit, but it fits to put those vibes in your head. But then when the characters talk, they're just like this, because it's a world without emotions. And I'm just like, I need you to talk faster. You can still have no emotions, but we need to get through, and we need to find the thing. And combat needs to get crazy. It's not crazy yet, but it's in that weird, like, I don't know yet kind of a mode. So, bunch of games I played, even more I didn't talk about. Check out the What You're Playing. It was a fun week. It's been a weird couple days, but it's been a fun week overall. There we go. That was us. That was us for the weeks.
That was us for the weeks. And of course, I'd be crazy if I didn't talk about another fighting game, because we all know Eric's relationship with fighting games. He doesn't play them anymore. He swore them off, but I still watch from afar, and I still, once in a while, just look and reach out with my hand, and I go, I want to touch you. But I don't. I never do. I take the hand back, and I say, I regret what I said. I'm sorry. And I walk away. Here's another one. Arc System Works has just made a fantastic fighting game, some would say. And of course, Sony published it. It's out August 6th. So right now, as you're hearing this, you can play it. It is dun, da, 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 Marvel's Tōkon Fighting Souls. So you can get this game right now. And you can get it on PlayStation, you can get it on PC. And of course, it is what you'd imagine. A really awesome Japanese-inspired take on Marvel characters. X-Men, Marvel, all of them are there. A whole bunch of them are there. But it's their spin on it. So you got a really cool anime vibe, which you already know that makes Eric 10 times more excited about touching it and playing it. But on top of it, it's got a really fun Street Fighter, fast-paced, like, fighting style. you can come in and you can mash buttons and you will look cool and you will do all sorts of moves and do things. And you can actually on a ground floor level play and have a good time with this without learning any in-depth systems or how it all works. But of course, if you want to get good, you got to start learning the systems and who is balanced against who and whatnot. And this is very important because as with most of Arc System games, you get 4 characters that you put on your squad. And then, of course, you choose who's going to be the main, and then your backup 3 characters. And then it's got the active tagging system. So once you pull in one for an assist, you have a window of opportunity to bring them in and be the main now. Now, in past Arc System games, apparently, this led to chaos because players that were really good would assist, tagging, and it starts just spinning, smashing you, just going nuts. Apparently in Tōkon, they've made the window extremely small. So you only have a second to do it. So that way you can't always just keep assist, smash. So you can still do it a little bit, but not as much as in previous Arc System games. And that also boosted my morale. That went, okay, that sounds even better because I'm dumb and I suck. So there's no way I'd be good enough to just master that and start sandwiching people and just spiking off assist, and mains and everything else. Because on top of that, you got to remember, that means you got to learn all 4 of those characters' movesets very well. And then know exactly when that assist hits, what you're going to spin into with that other character. So it gets complicated. And even in this, it still does. You still have to understand what the character's movesets are, what they're strong and weak against, and then who you're playing against, and then counter what they're doing to you or whatever's happening. So it has all the usual systems of an advanced fighting game. But I was so happy to hear, like I said, through reviews, that you can just old school Street Fighter this and just come in and go rah, 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 low kick, up and over for Hanakuki, this and this. And of course, you'll get, as you're doing combos and gaining points, that opens up your abilities and allows you to do some of your more powerful moves. It's all basic stuff. Everybody who's like at least tangentially understanding of fighting games, it's all there. You know what I'm talking about. And it's got all the cool old Street Fighter kind of things going too, where all the maps are them really cool, or not maps, but fighting scenes have other characters in the background. And you get to interact, and it has the really cool system where if you do a powerful combo at the right time and the spot, you'll blast them through a wall and then into a whole nother scene of that particular fighting map. And I love that stuff. I loved it in Dead or Alive. I love it here. That just really tickles my fancy and gets me all jazzed up, and I want to check it out and see it. So all this stuff and watching everything, I was like, damn, man, I would love to just play this. But I know better. I know better and I won't. But if someone gifted it to me, I'd play it and get mad and then quit again. That's what I'd do. Yeah. But it's out there, folks. And I'd recommend you give it a look, because I know in the previews, or not the previews, the demo or whatever it was, there was a lot of problems, a lot of hitching, a lot of issues that PC gamers and whatnot were having. And they took it to heart. And apparently a lot of that's fixed up and the game is running really smooth. So, yeah, here's a brand new fighting game out there for you, fresh and hot. And I'm telling you, it looks sexy and the character models are looking really solid. I really dig it.
And man, I told you a little bit earlier about Beast of Reincarnation, and that game is about a lady with a dog companion going and doing some stuff. Well, if that's too big graphics for you, if that's too big price for you and you don't have the Game Pass, I'm going to tell you about another game where you get to be a girl with a dog going on a big old quest and doing stuff, and that's Signy and Mino Against All Gods, which came out on the 30th, developed by AN Productions, published by Armor Game Studios for, I believe, PC only. I watched the Noisy Pixel review of this, and people in the comments said it may be coming to consoles later, but I'm pretty sure it's just PC only. This is a turn-based RPG. It's got a really fun, cartoony graphical style. Like, it's got 3D objects in the back, like the world, but your characters are like 2D, cartoony-looking people running around doing stuff. And the story of this one, I've heard, it's not super deep, it's not super engaging, it's not really the reason why you play this, but you are Signy, and you have your dog, Mino, who's like a blue merle, kind of looks like a border collie, and there's this big corporation that's been doing bad stuff. And back in the past, your parents got killed in this big accident as a result of this corporation. You've been raised by your grandma, and one day, boom, you're out patrolling the world. There's some bad dudes from the corporation. You get saved by this nature god. Now you've got like wind powers. And so you're going around the world, essentially, I think, getting together the gods of nature, pushing back against this big evil corporation that's doing bad stuff. But I said, the story's not really why you're there. The characters, the bonds with them. I've heard it's all pretty light. Think of like a cartoon show, and you're going to have that vibe. Just a fun, easygoing, chill, silly characters, nothing super deep, nothing super dark. But what people are hooked on with this is the combat system. Because I said it is a turn-based system. So you do choose, attack, defend, all this other stuff. But the action, it's timing-based. So you can dodge, you can parry enemy attacks. And then when you attack, you choose a regular attack. Your character usually has she's got like a staff. She's like a staff martial artist, a bow lady. And so she'll go whoosh. And then if you hit a quick time event, she'll do another whoosh. But then after that hit, you can knock the enemy back. You can knock him up in the air. Then you can kind of pause the action and choose another skill that like your dog will do. And so the dog will jump in like from the side and like jump and spear and knock the enemy against the wall and they bounce off. And then now you can choose another skill that you do to knock the enemy up. You're juggling enemies all over the place in this game. And it is turn-based because you kind of stop the action and choose the next skill from the list. And, if the skill doesn't hit, like if you knock them up in the air, but it's a ground slam skill that you choose, then your combo is just ended. But you're comboing all these enemies in this turn-based style. Obviously, I've played a lot of games that have this style of stuff, but more action-based. So like Project Cross Zone or Namco Cross Capcom for back in the day. But people love this combat system. And that's what hooked me. Like I immediately noticed the graphics first, and then I noticed that combo system of just ping, 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 ping. You and your dog tag teaming back and forth, knocking enemies all over hell. And then when you're getting attacked by the enemies, if they shoot a projectile and you hit the dodge button, the girl jumps up and the dog does like a little crouch animation to get underneath the thing. It's cute. It's fun. And that's just what this game looks like. Just like cute, cartoon, fun. Like I said, I've heard it's not super serious. It doesn't get super dark. I've heard the enemies are not super hard either. So that's the one complaint I've seen from people is like, I wish there was more of a challenge in these combat systems. I think the Noisy Pixel review, the person said, I only got below half health once, and that's when I was using my health to extend my combo to other enemies, like bring other enemies in and juggle them and knock them around. But what's so wrong with an easygoing, fun to play, unique combat system RPG? That sounds pretty damn good to me. I played one not too long ago, which was Jack Move a few years back. It was a short run time. It was just kind of fun and silly and a good time. Why not have a fun, silly, good time with Signy and Mino? Go watch a trailer. Go see a review. It just looks like a lot of fun. Just the cartoon aesthetic of the characters. It just makes me smile. And then you add in a fun, juggly combat system to it too. I'm definitely going to get this. I think it's only like $16 on Steam. So it's priced for an indie, short, good time. If you want something unique and fun, check out Signy and Mino Against All Gods. It's on PC right now. Like I said, maybe console sometime in the future, but I haven't seen anything about that. So go check it out. Just a fun, easygoing time. Why not?
Indeed, you should. And if you want some free games, we got them for you, man. Amazon free games. I've been looking and looking and looking, and I haven't found anything except for maybe, as of 5 hours ago, some random person I don't know said that Write and Down and Hive Swap Friendism might be the two games you're getting for free this week. But of course, since I just found this literally as Matt was talking, I don't have any clue what those games are about. I can say just based off the little toggle thing here, Write and Down has a D&D character. What is that called? With the Eye of the Beholder? The Beholder dude?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it has one of those in the image, so I'm assuming it's some kind of weird D&D-ish type thing going on here. And then the Hive Swap Friendism has a weird stick figure looking dude kind of getting jacked and eaten by some creature. So I don't have a clue what those games are about, but I just found them, and I'm telling you now that apparently those are the two games Amazon's going to give you. So you'll have to go look for yourself, but don't forget to do it because they're free for you.
And also free games. On the Game Pass, there's only the one, and I talked about it last week. It's Beast of Reincarnation. If you want to be swinging a sword in a weird post-apocalyptic, weird nature has taken over the place, and you got a giant half plant, half wolf on your side, go check it out. I know my talk earlier wasn't that great, but some people like it. Probably some other people don't like it that much. Go check it out for yourself if you got Game Pass. It's free for you. And then since Eric talked so much crap about Steam last time or the time before that, they went, screw you. We're giving you one of your favorite little indie games,
right?
Eric, for free. Moonlighters for free. Go into dungeons, find things, sell them in your store to go down and do more dungeons and have a great time. It's for free because, as we said before the show, Moonlighter 2 is either coming out or coming out of early access sometime, so they want to whet your appetite to spend more money on that.
And that's a smart thing to do anyway. I already own it somewhere. I don't know where, but I own it already, and I've played a bunch of it. But of course, Epic also has games, folks. Beacon Pines and We Were Here Together. 2 games I know nothing about because Matt's the one who put them in here because, of course, once again, my sister was visiting and I have not had my setup. I've not done any of my routines. It's broken. It's all gone. It's all been out the window. Y'all know how this goes when family or things disrupt everything. You just don't get it together. You just lost in the sauce. You're kind of boolly bouting about all week. It's crazy.
So I think Beacon Pines, I only took a very short glance at this one. I think you're like anthropomorphic characters, like a little fox and a little cat and a little whatever. But it has like a Stranger Things sort of vibe, sort of cartoony, but there's weird stuff going on in this town or at this camp, summer camp that you're at.
Wasn't there a
something
crazy
like that?
show, something Pines, that was all crazy and weird? A show that everyone used to love. And I remember loving it too. God, I'm getting old, man. How am I forgetting like whole shows and series I've watched? But yeah, as soon as I said Beacon Pines, it reminded me of that. I said that's probably some freaky deaky thing because I remember that show was all freaky deaky and it was weird. Nothing was as it seemed. I bet they're copycatting this. So it sounds like I'm right.
And then We Were Here Together is a co-op game that I watched some of Jesse Cox and, what's his lady friend's name? I can't remember. They played some of this together. So total co-op game. You're solving puzzles. I think this is from a first-person perspective. Like, to unlock the door for that person, they have to tell you how to manage this puzzle over here. So if you got friends and you like playing games with friends, check out We Were Here Together if you haven't played that already.
Very nice. And you know what, to kick off some meat and taters, I want to talk about Sony for just a second. Nothing crazy, nothing super huge. It's not, we've seen it before. But apparently via Push Square, go check this article out yourself. It's over there. Sony is looking to incorporate ads from non-endemic brands into its consoles. So yes, we may be seeing Taco Bell ads in our games and in our console systems, and we may see McDonald's this and that. And if you play this game, maybe you'll get a free cheeseburger at Mickey D's or something. It's coming, folks. And then not only that, but this isn't a thing, but apparently EA is also looking to incorporate more ads into its games and whatnot to make up for the money it loses through making the game and then selling the game. So we're going to go right back to freaking Kojima and getting Monster energy drinks inside of our video games and all sorts of real life ads and whatnot while we're playing. And I've always been mixed on that. On the console itself, I'm not down with it. I don't want to log into my console and have McDonald's sitting there telling me I should go get McDonald's. I'm not here for that. I'm not here for that. Now, if you do it in a cool way in a game that isn't a real world and I'm seeing actual real places, that doesn't bother me. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I'm on Earth. So if I'm like in a Gran Turismo or if I'm Need for Speed and then I'm seeing like the billboards and it's actual McDonald's billboards or Burger King billboards or whatever it is, that wouldn't bug me one bit. In fact, it might actually help me immerse me because I'm like, yeah, why would I not see that? That's what you see when you drive down the highways. So I'm for that. So EA's plan kind of is fine with me. Like if they incorporate it in a way that makes sense in the game, but I don't like Sony's whole, we could put you on the front page and tie you into things and this and that. I'm not down with that one that much. So, a little mixed on it, but I just thought I'd bring it to your attention. It might come to nothing. It's not like it's set in stone. They're just looking into it and they're hiring people to kind of research it and figure out what would work, what kind of things might balance everything out, what money would come in versus pissing people off, et cetera, et cetera.
And I pretty much agree with you. Like if I boot up my console and it says, "Hey, have you called DoorDash to get your Dairy Queen delivered?" I'm just gonna be pissed. But I remember way back when like the first bit of this that I remember started was Saints Row 2 on the 360. I remember driving around, in whichever city it was, not Steelport, but I can't remember. But driving around the city, and they had billboards up for in-game stuff. And then I stopped at one of the billboards and I went, wait a minute, that's an ad for, this is probably not what it was, like X versus Sever, the movie that's coming out in 2 weeks. That's freaking awesome. I said to myself, whoa. And I took a little picture with my camera phone at that time because you couldn't screen record or share your whatever. And I was like, that's so cool. And then, when I played it 6 months later, the partnership had ended and that wasn't there. So, I mean, I'm kind of with you. If it's in a normal place and it's not shoved in your face, then I think it's fine. My only issue with it being like in EA sports games is it's going to be like actual sports are now. We're like, hey, let's check out the Taco Bell Instant Replay brought to you by Taco Bell, the official taco of the NFL. There he tackled the man. All right, that was the Taco Bell Instant Replay sponsored by Taco Bell. Hey, have you guys had a chalupa? Here we are in the booth eating a chalupa in our sushi.
Now back to your show.
That's the only issue I would have with it because it just pisses me off when I'm just like, I'm watching a traditional major time sport and like, hey, it's the official diet soft drink of the NFL brought to you by Diet Coke, the official diet soft drink of the NFL, but the actual fully non-diet soft drink of the NFL brought you this other thing. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I'm mostly with you though. It'll bug me, but as long as it's in a game, and probably I'm not going to play those games anyway, that's fine. But on my console, get out of here. Don't like it. But I'm going to bring us up. I'm going to bring the nose. Well, not going to bring the nose up because that wasn't that bad. We don't really care that much.
That wasn't that bad.
I was scrounging for news today, and I found out y'all remember Ghost Recon Wildlands? Probably most of you don't. That's the Ghost Recon, big old open world Ghost Recon game that came out in 2017. But apparently, Ubisoft, or just the Ghost Recon people, had like a big 25-year anniversary of that series stream sometime this week. Obviously, I missed it because I'm not in on the Ghost Recon stuff. But as part of that, Ghost Recon Wildlands is getting an update with a new story, all kinds of new missions, performance updates. So you're going from, your traditional PS4 level stuff to if you're playing it on PS5, you get 4K, you get 60 frames a second, you get all the boosts, and then you get tons of free items. There were normally DLCs and add-on stuff that you had to get. Apparently a mission where you fight against the Predator, like the Predator from the movies, that, was there for a limited time and then went. Now it's back. So I just thought that was something kind of cool. We all poo-poo on Ubisoft because they do a bunch of dumb stuff and they remake the same game every time. They make bad business decisions and whatever. But hey, if you liked Ghost Recon Wildlands almost 10 years ago, you just got a whole bunch of new stuff for it. Like you got a new whole storyline and missions and enemy types and all this other stuff. Not to mention all the other microtransaction things. Boom. It's here for you. And then they mentioned that another Ghost Recon game is in the works. So that's actually pretty cool too. But I was just like, that's bizarre. Like, what company does that? What company says, hey, remember this game you all loved from 10 years ago? Let's just throw a bunch of new stuff in it and enjoy. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, that is cool. And good on you. Everyone who loves Ghost Recon Wildlands getting the updates. I was hoping to see something on, like, some more Division. And then I was looking at it, man, and I realized they just did actually do that. So, like,
oh, cool.
They're over there just supporting games like nobody's business.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Like, I thought Division 2 was, like, dead and gone. And then you posted that, and I was like, oh, man, what about Division? And I'm like, oh, look. Oh, they did. Eric, you just don't pay attention or care anymore. Oh, well, I feel terrible now. So apparently Division 2 is getting the same treatment. It's constantly getting these, like, updates and new, like, little themed, like, months or whatever, seasons kind of thing going. Oh, my God. I'm so out of it. It's terrible. Ubisoft, I at least appreciate you for doing that, keeping your games alive and supporting them and keeping things going. That's awesome. But of course, do you have an appetite out there? I know you do. All you freaks, you're over there. Oh, nobody cares about Wildlands. Nobody cares about Division. We only care about one thing. That's GTA 6, baby. Well, if that's you, guess what? Come August 27th, you get a 6-hour exclusive on Netflix featuring all sorts of extended looks at all the game and what it entails and what's going on. That's nuts, man. That's insane.
Now, I put this in the show notes.
Damn it, man.
And I don't think you understand what's going on here. I don't think you understand
I don't know what's happening either. I'm just listening to the notes.
You're right. That is right. Literally what I wrote is right. But the next big extended look from GTA 6, it drops on Netflix on that day, just like you said, August 27th. But the 6-hour exclusive is not like 6 hours of content on Netflix.
Oh, man.
The extended look drops on Netflix like at 3 p.m. Eastern or whatever that day.
Mm.
And it's exclusive to Netflix for like 6 hours. And then it goes up on YouTube and the GTA 6 website.
That was weird. I was like, they're going to show you 6 hours of this game? Like, that's nuts, man. What? I mean, but I believed it because I'm like, this game's apparently going to be 100 plus hours easy. I'm like, maybe they are going to just give you 6 hours of different things. I don't know.
And that would be pretty awesome if it was like, obviously they're not going to show you 6 hours of gameplay, but if they showed you some gameplay and then 6 hours
and then
of
the making
interviews
of
and this and that.
Yeah,
concept
that's
art
what
and
I meant. Like,
yeah,
just content of how the game is made, what it's doing, what they were going for with their battle mechanics or their traversal mechanics or blah, 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 blah.
So it's not that, but
sorry, folks. Sorry.
I put this in here because A, it's GTA 6 news and everybody's going to love it. But what a bizarre thing to do. I saw a game developer article about this and it said, Rockstar wants you to pay for Netflix to see their next GTA 6 trailer. And then in the article, after that clickbait headline, they said the details. And I went, wait a minute. Rockstar probably doesn't care where you watch it. Netflix brought over a semi-truck full of money and said, hey, can we get it for 6 hours exclusively so that we can advertise that we had the biggest viewer eyeball moments in all of 2026? And Rockstar said, oh, is that a truck full of money? Yeah, okay, sure, whatever. That's fine.
Well, they need it because they spent $6 billion to make Grand Theft Auto 6, so makes sense.
I just thought it was weird, but then people were also taking it in a weird way. Like, Rockstar wants you to pay. No, Netflix wants you to pay. Netflix wants to get that money back that they gave to Rockstar.
Rockstar just accepted the money.
Yeah. They said, well, we're going to put it on YouTube and our stuff later anyway. And they went, yeah. But we're going to get we're going to be in the news, guys. We, Netflix, are going to be in the news with you. Woohoo.
But as I said on the top of all this, you freakos.
Everybody's going to do it.
You're going to get in on it.
Yeah.
You're going to want to hear it straight up from the word go. You're going to do it. You'll be a Netflix freako for a little bit.
I mean, even I, who am not going to buy GTA 6, I have Netflix. Netflix doesn't go anywhere because Raw is on Netflix, so I have to have it if I want to watch wrestling. And also, yeah, Mom loves a ton of stuff on Netflix. So when it drops, I'm going to look at it. I'm going to go, oh, man, this looks so cool. What a shame I can't play this game. If you have Netflix, why not look? Why not be in the know for 6 hours?
Yeah, indeed. So definitely be there to check that out. And then I would jump to our final topic, but we got one little other thing that I don't know anything about or care too much about. So Matt's supposed to have been jumping to it because it's his shtick. So he's going to do that.
Oh my God, it's my shtick. Here I go. Hey, did you guys know?
Indie games are great.
Indie games are great. Shut up, Eric.
They are great.
But I was on Blue Sky the other day and somebody had retweeted it. I'm not sure who it was, but somebody said, hey, we put together a big old giant indie game bundle, raising funds for what they're calling Game Industry Hardship Fund. So like a big old fund of money that people who've been laid off, who have medical expenses, housing issues, whatever, they can put in to get some of this money. But to make all this money, they put together on Itch.io a giant bundle of 127 games. And some of these are like asset packs for making games, but mostly it's games. All these indie games. And for $10, you get 127 games. So if you're sad about the future of gaming or whatever, put in $10 and you have a lifetime of to play right off the jump. And I picked out 3 things on here because honestly, to me, and I'm the indie game guy, I only recognize 3 games out of the whole list. I scrolled through the whole damn list, but you got a Ranger, you got a Short Hike, and you got Dead Finger Dice. I guarantee together, all 3 of those together on Steam right now, even though some of them are on sale, you're going to pay more than $10 just for those 3. But if you pay $10 here, you get 124 more games. And scrolling through that list, there's a ton of crazy looking stuff, different graphical styles, obviously different gameplay styles, all kinds of crazy stuff. Anything you could want, it's here. So if you want some indie games, and Itch.io is one of those ones where you put in the monies and they literally download the EXE. There's no DRM, you get the digital game. So go get some indie games. You know, if you don't care about the Game Industry Hardship Fund or whatever, you're still getting a game for every 12.7 cents or whatever that you spend. And you're getting 127 of those. I don't know how math works. I'm stupid, but that was crazy. 127 games for $10. Where else are you going to find that? The answer is nowhere. So go get it.
Indeed, you should go get that because as Matt said, that's a crazy deal right now. Even if you never play almost any of them, to have them just sitting there in the backlog just in case is pretty much worth $10. As everybody always tells you, what are you going to do with $10? Go buy one coffee, go buy one combo meal from McDonald's. You do that in a heartbeat without even thinking. Well, just go do this too without thinking because you do everything else without thinking.
Yes.
Fools. And that leads us to the last bit of the show, the last topic for the day. Nintendo had a direct this week, and it was focused on one game only. And that was Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave. And I said to myself, as Matt, he goes, oh my God, I'm so sold. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I can't wait. I was like, I'm not even going to look because we all know that I've played 2 Fire Emblem games about 50 to 60% of the way through and then just dropped off. I have also played 2 Xenoblade Chronicle games 50% of the way through and dropped off. I now have 4 giant RPGs that I have only half of the time it takes, because it takes about 100 hours to beat these games, through and never finished any of the 4 of them. And I said, Eric, just stop. Don't look. But Matt, he went, oh my God, oh my God. And I said, oh, I gotta look. So I pushed play on that damn direct. And I went, oh, you're telling me what? You're telling me what? And I got excited. And then I was still at the moment, all right, because listen, they start talking about tactical combat. And I'm like, I love tactical combat. I do. But you know what? Sometimes I can say, whatever, I'll pass. They said, oh, good, but guess what? We've changed the game. Now, when you're figuring out what you want to do with your free time, and I said, a free time, I love it when I can pick what I want to do with my free time. They said, not only can you go hang out with friends, not only can you go train in the arena and learn the other moves, which then gives your stats a boost and this and that, and same with the weapons, but then you can go into random dungeons. There's random dungeons that'll get you treasure and things like that. And I said, well, okay. And they said, and Eric, and then it turns into turn-based RPG. Not tactical, just straight up old school RPG mechanics. And I went, oh man. And they said, not only is there 1 character, there's 4. There's 4 cool characters. And I'm like, yeah, 2 of them are real cool. You know, the girls, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, okay. And you can just change between them whenever you want. And then just dual wield. And I went, oh God, that sounds really cool. And I said, but man, that's a lot. Why would I do that? And they said, well, we'll give you a reason why, Matt. We'll give you a reason why. What was the reason why? Oh my God, there was so much.
Hang on. I gotta
yeah,
go.
I know.
I gotta go back too, because
Yep.
I bought the last Fire Emblem and I was so geeked for it, and I played like 25% of the way through that one, and I was like, nah, I fell off. I don't know what it was. It was too easy, but then if I turned it to hard, it was too hard, and I was like, I don't know, maybe I'm not sold on Fire Emblem anymore. And then I saw this, and leading up to this, like I knew it was something around gladiatorial games, like you're all in an arena or whatever. And I was like, oh, if it's just arena fights, I don't know. But then they showed those 4 characters, and I saw 1 teenage protagonist. And I went, throw that man away. Then I saw 2 beautiful Alucard looking dude who's just like bloodthirsty and wants to murder things. He was like, oh,
yep, just straight up bloodthirsty.
Just delicious violence for me. And I went, sold. And then they were also the 2 most beautiful women I've ever seen in my whole life. One was all full of revenge and one's not. And I was like, how, like, just like you said, how could I possibly even pick between them? And they said, you don't freaking have to. You can play all of their storylines in tandem. Just everybody's storyline progress saves automatically. So when you jump to the teenage kid to get the last bit of the story, he'll start over from the beginning, but you don't lose the progress with the other people. And I went, that's so weird. How can you have 4 storylines? I don't understand. But then that's when they said it. They said, oh, by the way, everybody, we're going to introduce the true protagonist of this game. 6 years after all that stuff happens, that whole big 4-way storyline resolves itself. 6 years later, the whole world's been ruined. There's a dragon. There's always a dragon in Fire Emblem. Everything's crushed. Everything's bad. And so you, as the true protagonist, a different person, all dressed in white, you got to go into the past and get those heroes to bring them to the present to make the world whole again, do the things. So I don't know if you have to like go into their story, like each time 4 ways go into their stories and figure stuff out and dialogue with them and do all that stuff. But that's what my head said. It said, oh, you lived through those people. You understand them. You know their motivations. You know how to get that beautiful Castlevania man to want to have delicious violence against a big dragon. Oh my God. I was just like, this feels like, and I'm going to say it right now, it got me super excited. But it also felt like if you gave away the big twist of 100 line.
Yeah, I'm like, I didn't want to know that.
Yeah. I just wanted to do this and love it. And then
all of a sudden,
the
world ends. Oh, what the hell? How'd I screw this game up? And then just boom, get given that. And like, oh,
here's Fortune's Weave 2.0. Boom,
here's the real end game for you. Here's what we were trying to get you to do.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how they're going to do the system yet where you go and convince, because you have to go back and you have to convince them to come with you. And here's the best part. You don't have to have anybody with you. They're like, you can solo the last boss and you can solo the end too. It's just going to be extremely difficult for you to do so. Or you can go get one of them and bring them back. 2 of them bring them back. 3 of them bring them back. 4 of them bring them back. Whatever. You figure it out. You do what you want to do. And I went, whew, because I can't do all 4. That's going to be like a 200-hour game. And I said, I can do 2. I'll do the girls. And then I hope that makes it easy enough to where I can beat the game with the protagonist and the 2 with me at the end of the day, even because they said you can do it just him literally alone if you want to. It's just hard. And so I went, okay.
But what's even crazier about that is they showed the protagonists, and each one of them had like a bunch of people with them too. And then they talked about other recruits that you can go get.
Mm-hmm.
So when I go and get that beautiful Castlevania man, is he bringing
his squad,
his whole squad with him? Because there's no way they're not going to have you do that. So if I do all 4 characters and I bring all 4 characters in, am I going to have a squad of like 120 people coming in with me and just like mash like my old school Warcraft tactics of just like every unit go smash and kill the last boss that way? I hope that's what it is, because that sounds like the best ending to a Fire Emblem game ever.
Yeah, that's the reward.
Yeah.
Is to go onto a map and here's the demon god, the dragon, but you've got just a million people on this board and you're like, yeah, okay, yeah, you're dead, bro.
You don't even get a turn because everything's coming in.
I know you're dead. You know you're dead.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Just end it. That's my favorite thing, as you all know in a game, is when I go in and I'm like, I'm a god because I did the time and work and I don't have to actually think about this fight. I get to be the man, the myth, the legend, and click a button and you die. Oh, it's the best.
And I mean, everything else that they showed in there, we didn't even touch like half of the stuff they talked about, like showing off the different classes, the different animals you can ride, the different everything.
The relationships you can have and you know, the talking points, etc.
It just lit up every single Fire Emblem part of my brain. I was so delighted by this. I went in expecting nothing. And this one just went, bam, you need to own me. Punch, punch, punch. It hit me right in the face. And I said, okay, I bought the collector's edition from Nintendo.com as soon as it became available. Sold. Oh,
I'm so jealous. The art book and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yes.
I can't afford it, but I would love it. It's the regular edition for me. Oh.
What a delight. And what a way to end the show. Except for, there's just one more thing we got to talk about. And that's Uncle Matt's Trivia Corner. Because if you remember, last week's question was, in which entry of the Assassin's Creed series does Cesare Borgia appear as the main antagonist that, of course, was Assassin's Creed Brotherhood? Of course. Now, I shouldn't say this to Eric because he gets stressed out when I do. I'm loading up.
I do. I get real stressed out. I don't like it.
I'm loading up the scoreboard because this week's question is, released in 1971, which seems odd to me, which computer game featured a journey to Willamette Valley and a possible game over due to the player character dying from dysentery? Correct. You got it right, Eric. Released in 1971 seems pretty freaking crazy.
Way too early.
Yeah.
I would have said like 1989 or something.
Yeah, because I mean, I remember playing that as a kid.
Yeah,
like,
I played it
on the first computers that I had at school.
Yeah.
So that was like way later.
That was like 89 or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and what computers were around in 70s? I don't remember ever seeing a computer until like 89-ish in that range.
It was all business computers then. So like if you're the guy programming it in your garage where all the software development was back in the day, like I could see that getting, passed around on the big floppy disks. So maybe it like started there, but then gained popularity when people found it again 18 years later.
It's
crazy.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Because in the 70s, the computers were as big as rooms.
Yeah.
It's too much for me. It's too much.
Maybe the guy had it on a punch card, and then eventually he put in the little pixel graphics. But hey, if you remember, if you know the answer to that question, send that to us or anything else in the world. Thoughts on Fire Emblem, thoughts on Push Square, thoughts on GTA 6, anything else, mailbag questions, comments, concerns. If you just want to say hi, send that to us via the email, thirdshiftme@gmail.com, on the Twitter machine @thirdShiftMe. Find us on Facebook under Third Shift. Hit up the Discord, hit up the Patreon. If I'm streaming, hit up a stream. If I'm home, don't come to my house, but think about me. Send me good vibes in your head, and I'll be like, I feel good. I feel that. I receive it. I receive your positive energy. Do that for me.
You should do that. And you should also go to Patreon, throw in $1, $2, all the kind of bucks. A little tip jar. You just like what you're hearing, like what we're up to. Consider doing that. Helps pay the bills. Keeps the lights on over here, stress-free from me and Matt, and we appreciate the hell out of that. But if you can't do that, you can go support us over on Twitch, just like Matt said. If Matt's streaming, go over there and hit Amazon Prime free membership. That gives us a couple bucks from Amazon at no cost to you. Or you can go over to Spotify and or Apple Podcasts, give us 5-star ratings, which get us ups in the old metrics, and everybody starts to see us more, and then they watch us, and then it leads to good things. Or you can just go to Discord, join up on our Discord and have some conversations, have some fun, post mailbag questions, any and all these things you can do to support us. We appreciate it.
And of course, we appreciate you listening to the very next episode, which will be dropping on or around the 13th of August on iTunes, on Stitcher, on Podbean, on Spotify, and on YouTube. And as I always say, hey, if you like what we're doing, like to help us out, please give us a like, a rating, a review, a comment, a subscription, any kind of good thing on any one of those good services, because it does help us out, and we really do appreciate it.
We do indeed. And I've been thinking about Conjecture Island, We got to go there again someday. It's been a long time. I bet they're dead. I bet everybody's dead on that island.
Well, good. There's not cannibals there to scare us away then. We can hang out as long as we want.
I hope the cannibals are gone. And those rocks that keep stuck in us, they're all gone too. I don't know. We'll see. It just crossed my mind the other day. And I was also it's also my time to talk about your 5 stars and stuff. But you guys disappoint me and you don't deserve it. So we'll just go from there.
Yeah, if you give us a 5-star, we can probably power that canoe with some 5-star energy to get us
to Conjecture Island.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, like Kirby style.
Yes.
That's up to you guys. Yeah. You got to get us there. It's up to you.
And with that, there's nothing else to say but...
Don't forget to say...
Shut up and sit down.